I want to take the opportunity to thank you for responding to our call this morning, to come and be a part of our press briefing this morning. I am very sure that we have had a near eventful week, a week that looked like it had no more events. A week that looked like it had no more events, but I think with the news that we have just seen now, it has taught us that it was not a normal week, and that it was not just eventful but shocking. The members will tell you that can I give chance so that you set up properly, because you seem to be fidgeting around with the equipment? Are you okay?
No, sorry.
You who's running around?
Yes, it's okay.
What are you doing?
It's okay now.
You are okay now?
Yes.
So we can continue?
Yes.
Okay. So we have been disturbed this morning with the news that has been confirmed by the Zambia police through their spokesperson of the discovery of 65 million kwacha in cash, 65,330,000 kwacha in cash in a home in New Kasama. On top of that, 57,000 United States dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, countrymen and women, and the youth of Zambia, this is the kind of Zambia that we were subjected to. What we are beginning to see now are the remnants of the reality that this country was in the hands of filthy men and women, simply put, thieves. And today, you can see the kind of resources that are meant for the nation that are in the hands of individuals. In a country where we went without medication in hospitals, so many people lost their lives because they couldn't access diabetic medication. People lost their lives because they couldn't access consumables for their dialysis. People lost their lives because they couldn't access ordinary, minimum health services, because our health system ground to a near halt without resources to help the people of Zambia. Yet individuals could have in their homes 65 million kwacha in cash. And these are very young people. We don't want to believe that this money is money that the young lady would have made or so on. It is quite clear that this money was placed for safekeeping in the hands of this young lady. And we can speculate, really, that I'm sure she took some of it and they ran away and exposed the change. So for easy carrying, probably she even carried the forex, which may have been more than the 57 that was recovered. What is clear, and what Zambians should ask themselves is, then why, if this money is genuinely obtained, why is it not in a bank? Why is it not in a financial institution? How would you keep such kind of colossal sums in a home? We are happy that police are on it. We will not conclude. We may speculate, but that's as far as we can go. But we must allow the police to do their work and get to the conclusion of it and tell us exactly what has happened for this money to be found like this, and bring the perpetrators to book, so that this be a lesson that in Zambia, going forward, from the new Dawn administration going forward, for the next 50 years, UPND will be in office. They must know that never again in Zambia shall it be that those in government will stick their fingers in the coffers of the nation. Hear me right, New Dawn administration. Hear me right, UPND Alliance administration. For the next 50 years that you will be in charge of this country, such will not happen. At least we are very sure and confident that for the next 10 years, President Hakainde will be in charge of the country. It will not happen. We don't know about the other 4 presidents that will come and do 10 years each after President Hakainde, because we have clear that we are going to do a minimum of 50 years in this country. I hope PF is listening and are strong enough to withstand 50 years in opposition. We are aware that cash is moving, and it is moving in vehicles. They can't move it in the banks. Now they are stuck with a lot of money, and they are moving it in vehicles. We just want to let you know that we are aware and we are on top of things, but only that we are not vigilante kind of people. We let the law enforcement agencies do their work, and they will do their work. And I can assure you this, all that money you store, you will not take it anywhere. You will be caught with it. Hear me and hear me right. There is not a single person who can steal public funds, funds meant for the people of Zambia, for the poor majority of Zambia, and you get away with it. You can't. You may hide for a little while, but you will be caught up. And today, it is just but the beginning, and you will see more to come. People who will be caught up with stolen public resources. I watched on television last night or so, the Patriotic Front Vice President, Mr. Given Rubinda, stating, shamelessly I might add, on television, that the result of the 2021 poll shocked him. It shocked the PF. He added that it shocked the UPND and that it shocked the Zambians who voted. And that because he refers to the president as President Bali, because he finds it very hard to mention President Hakainde Hichilema. I mean, he comes from we understand. He comes from a bunch of people that used to say, Hakainde will never be president. So for him to say President Hakainde Hichilema, it's difficult. So now Rubinda says President Bali. Well, granted. If I president was swapa easy, that might. Granted. So he says President Bali is shocked that he won. I want to tell Given Rubinda that talk for yourself. Talk for the PF. Talk for President Lungu. But don't talk for Bali. Don't talk for us. Don't talk for the UPND. We are not shocked. The Zambians are not shocked. They stood and voted. You are shocked because you never listened. I heard him say, look, in 2011, there was a wind of change and we could see it. In 1991, there was a wind of change and we could see it. But this time around, there was no wind of change. That's why it was, no, Baba. There was a wind of change. But the difference is that in 1991, you were coming from the opposition and you could feel the wind. In 2011, you were coming from the opposition and you could feel the wind. But in 2021, you were in government selfishly, you were in vehicles, you closed your windows, you conditioned your air. And when we were shouting from outside, it's hot here, it's 32 degrees, you had 16 degrees in your car, and you were wondering, what are they saying? They're saying it's hot? It's cold here. It was cold in your car because your air was conditioned. We were telling you there's a wind of change. You couldn't see it because all you were thinking is that what you are doing, the people of Zambia are also doing, or what you are feeling, the people of Zambia are also feeling. You had it wrong. You gagged the people of Zambia, curtailed their voices. They couldn't say, they couldn't voice out, they couldn't talk to you. You couldn't listen because there was nobody telling you. You gagged the people. So they kept quiet and they waited for you that at the right time they will respond. And at the right time, they stood up on 2 occasions. Number 1, they rose in their numbers to register as voters. Clue number 1, you didn't see that. Number 2, they woke up in their millions to go and cast their ballot against you. Again, you thought that they were all waking up at 02 to remain in the lines up to 22 hours, thinking they are all humming inside the melody. You are wrong. They kicked you out. When we told you, PF, but listen, things are wrong. You are messing up the country. The people are hungry. The people are tired. They are sick. What did you, given Rwinda, tell us, the people of Zambia? You had the audacity to go on ZNBC, a national broadcaster, and looked us in our faces and said, Mwanyala, Lomba weo lero are given Rwinda. Murikud, Mwanyala, you are in opposition, and you will be there for the next 50 years. We also saw Mr. Binoculars. I shamelessly saw him on news yesterday or last night, and he's in Eastern Province. Again, you know, campaigning based on what can seemingly be thought as tribal politics, telling the people of Eastern Province, you had the president, but now you have been reduced to 2 ministers. You had your own. The people of Eastern Province voted for a Zambian, and they are part and parcel of Zambia. They don't have 2 people in cabinet, they have the entire cabinet, because that is the message the people of Zambia threw back to PF, that we are one Zambia, one nation, and we are not going to be regional, we are not going to be tribal. Get that, Takachinda. Put it in your head. We know that those binoculars are not looking at us. There's nothing for you to see here. We non-tribal. All the appointments are balanced. Everybody in Zambia feels part and parcel of our cabinet, and moving forward, all appointments will follow suit. There's nothing you are seeing here. But we know that those binoculars, Sakira Ndalama, because you are part of people that can best be said to have helped themselves instead of the people of Zambia. So we are quite certain that those binoculars are not looking at us, but they are looking for something. 2 things I may take a wild guess is that those binoculars are looking for where things may have been hidden, which you feel in a Sonani Paseko. And the other is that those binoculars are looking at a political party called PF for someone to end up being the Secretary General of that political party. But we can tell you in no uncertain terms, there's nothing for you to look at. It is not only too early, but it is folly for you to try and hoodwink the Zambians into thinking that they put in place a wrong government. The people of Zambia are laughing at you people. You can't tell them a decision they made 4 weeks ago is a wrong decision, and therefore you are the right people. They kicked you out 4 weeks ago because they realized you are driving this nation to a ground halt. And today you have the audacity to look at us and say, no, they are tribal in their appointments. Last night I was looking at a list of recalled ambassadors, disengaged permanent secretaries. You know, I don't like using the word chair, fired and all these things. I think let's give it the kind of phrasing it requires. It's recalled ambassadors, disengaged permanent secretaries, you know, disappointed government officials. But just look at the names. My goodness. Feels like it's committees of certain traditional ceremonies. It tells you where we were as a country. And that, there is no more. So if you want to engage in politics, we urge you, the opposition, especially the Patriotic Front, get engaged in topical issues. Take us on issues that we have felt, or you feel that these are important. So far, your issues are boring. You have got nothing to tell the Zambian people. I would advise you, I don't want to say shut up on television. I just want to say keep quiet. Sela into Wombeko. Watch as we bring proper development to this country. One thing you must know and know for sure is that in as far as the new Dawn administration is concerned, the days of applying low standards to high office are over. And I repeat myself, the days of applying low standards to high office are over. No more. It will never happen again. It's time to develop. It's time to give the people of Zambia what they deserve. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. Any questions? What is clear? No.
65 million kwacha.
Huh?
There's a question.
Yes.
Okay. Over the money issue.
Yes. Can I hear, please?
You just alluded to one sector of the economy that could have been impacted by people keeping so much money in their homes instead of keeping it in financial institutions. But overall speaking, looking at how the economy has performed so far, what could be the negative impact of such an individual and others that might not be caught up at the moment, keeping the money to themselves in their homes?
Well, money has to be kept in designated financial institutions because that way it is regulated in as far as circulation in community, in public is concerned. But when you hold money, you create artificial circumstances in an economy. Among them, you can even cause inflation because of holding money. That is why most governments will undertake a very expensive venture, such as changing the currency, so that those that are holding money are forced to take it out or declare it a loss. But we are aware that this government will not need to go that route. And if they have to, they will tell you themselves, remember that we speak for the party, we don't speak for government. So we don't know what plans Central Bank has, we don't know what plans Ministry of Finance has. But we can appeal to the people who are holding this money. Volunteer it. I can even give you a clue. What you can do is you can collect those bags of money that you have, maybe around 01, just go take them at the police and run away. The money will be collected and it will be taken back to Bank of Zambia, because we know that a lot of you are keeping a lot of money in your homes. But that money will not take you anywhere. It won't buy you life. It won't buy you whatever it is that you wanted to use it for, because it is poor people's money. Stealing public funds is stealing from poor people. And poor people are, like all of us, protected by God. So you can imagine that you are stealing from God and you hope to get away with it. Stealing directly from God, you can't. You still answer one day or the other. That is why if I were PF, among the biggest infrastructure projects I would have concentrated on, especially that they knew what they were doing. Instead of all these flyover bridges, they would have built nice prisons. Because we don't know going forward. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm also from Prime TV. I'd like to find out your interpretation of yesterday's disappointments. I know you mentioned part of it to do with the names and the like, but I'd like to get your position as the UPND Alliance.
Yes. Well, the position is simple. It's that when there's a regime change, there are office bearers that have to change. It's as simple as that. Everywhere you go in the world, when there's a regime change, office bearers change. So even in the United States, which is among the oldest democracies, if in office there are Democrats and the Republicans take over, people have to go. Or if it's the other way around, in office there are Republicans and Democrats take over, people have to go. There's a big number of people whose jobs immediately end with that regime. So what happened yesterday is is expected. It is nothing new. It is very expected that when regimes have changed, office bearers changed. In our countries, it's not even just regimes. It is even just one president to another. Like within PF, when President Sata died and President Lungu took over, people had to go because those were like Sata's people. And now Lungu had to bring his people. But now what you have is a total regime change. There's a PF regime, and now you have the UPND Alliance regime. So there's a way we want to govern the country going forward, and there's a manifesto we sold to the people of Zambia, and the people of Zambia said, yes, we have bought into it, we're giving you an opportunity. So there are certain people that cannot work with your manifesto to implement it, but others can. Even in civil service, it's not everybody that gets fired. Some civil servants remain because they are the engine of any government to move forward. So it is not Chigumura that when everybody comes in, and if you remember, there was heat on the presidency and pressure that he had to fire everybody. You can't fire everybody. Some people you keep, some you get rid of. For example, you have got, maybe I shouldn't give the example, it's okay.
Then maybe in addition to the same question that he asked, I know that there are also assertions that have come out to say that those that have received contracts and there is huge amount of money attached to that which the country is going to lose. I don't know your reaction to that. Have you considered how much money is supposed to be paid to those diplomats, commissioners?
Well, when you are recalling people and changing offices, there's a cost attached to it that goes without saying. So if you are going to recall people, you have to pay repatriation, you have to pay gratuities, you have to pay whatever is owed to them. That's normal. And if in their course of duty they signed contracts between Zambia and institutions and so on, remember it is their office that signed, it's not the individual. So if you were a finance minister and you signed a loan, and you are fired, it doesn't mean that that loan now it's not your personal loan. The next finance minister takes over whatever you are doing. So really, as far as continuation is concerned, with government obligations, it follows. But in as far as a cost to people's emoluments and so on, it goes without saying. Even where you work, if you change your station to go to another station, your station where you're working now, they have to pay you, isn't it? And you go and continue in another station. So people have been recorded. It's time for them to go ahead.
So, Mr. Tabo, I noticed that short term have been making use of social media. My question would be that is he giving you sleepless nights that you in the alliance?
Maybe as you are taking that one. And moving forward, how do you intend to change the political narrative where you seem to be bashing each other through the media? Is there any mechanism that you are thinking of developing where you would engage these opposition political parties in as much as they would want to offer checks and balances to the ruling party?
Well, for us, we are here to work for the people of Zambia and not to engage in bashing with the opposition. So, eyes on the ball, we focus on the people of Zambia. They gave us an opportunity to run the affairs of the nation, and we'll go ahead and run the affairs of the nation. We will not necessarily engage ourselves in ping pong with fellow, I almost said fellow opposition. We are the ruling party. We will not engage in opposition, in ping pong with oppositions. Ours is to focus on the people of Zambia. They are obliged to give checks and balances to us, and we are obliged to see where we've been checked and see where we need to balance. So we move on like that, but we're not going to take it for granted that our role is now to start bashing each other. We won't. You ask me, is Mr. Sean Tembo giving us sleepless nights? My answer is very simple. Zero. Zero. Sean Tembo is not giving us any sleepless night. Zero. And I want to echo the words of our party spokesperson, Honorable Cornelius Mwitwa, that maybe one day he will say some things which are relevant to the country and can be useful in the governance of this country. For now, whatever I say does not give us any sleepless nights. And if the idea is to give us sleepless nights, sorry, zero. Thank you.